We're saying boo to the flu today, right?
We're saying boo to the flu, but this is not a medical podcast.
This is not a medical podcast.
Consult your doctors and trusted medical professionals before moving forward with any kind of treatment or prevention for your kid.
Absolutely.
Big believers in medical professionals.
Yep. We are parent advocates, medical advocates, doctor advocates.
We love them all.
We love them all.
It's interesting as you and I navigate the parent empowerment role in child life services. I might be the only one who feels this, but I don't ever want to get so like parent advocate focused that we act like the other people behind the curtain aren't real people because they deserve as much respect and gentleness that we are trying to give to parents too. Do you know what I'm saying?
I have some dear, dear friends in the medical field, and I always tell them that my job is to support parents so they're better equipped for you to support them. So we're all working together. Without our medical teams, how many kids' lives would not be changed or saved? We are equipping and supporting parents because we want to support our medical teams as well. And so when we all can work together, the outcomes for everybody are
Right.
better.
It's interesting talking with a lot of parents. I'm more likely to leave a review on a pair of pants that didn't meet my expectations than I am on a pair of pants that fit me perfectly. And I think so when we talk about medical experiences for families, we often focus on the negative. We're not always talking about the overwhelming positive things that children and families go through in hospitals or with their doctors or during experiences. So it's good we take a minute to remember all the amazing things that healthcare professionals do for our families.
Absolutely. And a big believer in the power of medical treatment. I like that we're doing this because we believe in treating children with medical intervention, right? And all of these things are keeping their body in tip-top shape. And so we are here to support parents so they can go and feel really supported when they go and have to do these hard things with their kiddos.
Absolutely. You take your child to the doctor for a physical reason, whether it's illness or injury, but you're also wanting to pay attention to the emotional state of your child. And
Mhm.
so you take your child into the care team, and they're the experts at the physical, but you're the expert on the emotional well being of your child. And so hopefully, some of the conversations that Emily and I have today will be helpful for parents who are navigating like either my child needs a flu shot or my child needs their vaccine. I just got off a call with someone this morning whose daughter is about to have their 1-year-old vaccines.
Mm.
And she's already so nervous, like having her husband take the day off work. It's a big thing when your child has to get a poke, especially their first poke, and you hear them cry, a mad or hungry cry. It's a pain cry.
And that's sometimes gonna be inevitable, and you're right, the hardest thing, your mama heart or your daddy heart, just but I'm glad we're doing this today because all vaccine season and flu season and all that is upon us, and so we wanna make sure that we're supporting you guys.
Emily and I will walk through, as child life specialists, developmentally appropriate ways to talk with your child before this happens based on their age and level of development. We'll then move through the actual game day procedure. And then we'll also talk about the follow-up, which is such an important part to any medical experiences. Is I think sometimes we can just get done and want to forget that it ever happened, but the post-processing is important. So, give me your tips for preparing for that flu shot or vaccine day.
Yeah, I was thinking about this morning, like, what would be my game plan for my own kiddos? I worked in a pediatric clinic previously, so we always were kinda coming up ways to make the vaccine experience a better one because sometimes for the parent and for the kiddo, it is heavy, it is a lot, it is pain, it is uncertainty. But for medical professionals, they're like, let's get you in, let's get you out, let's get you home. And I get that, right? They want it to be a quick experience for everybody. So being
Right.
mindful of that is important. I think knowing that the team is not trying to just rush you through because they understand this is a big experience for you, but giving them a little grace because sometimes they are doing vaccines all day long and it can feel monotonous. Depending on age, sit down and talk about it. Katie, I think you mentioned Cameron had something recently, maybe it was her vaccines, and you guys talked about it the day before, right?
Yeah, my daughter is 6, and, it's just one of those things, like, when you say that you have to go to the doctor, at least for my kids, their first question is, "Do I have to have a shot?" Like,
Yeah.
Wesley had strep last week, and I had to take him to the doctor to get the throat swab. Cameron was even like, "Oh, does Wesley have to get a shot? He's going to the doctor." Even though we've talked about, like, strep is not a shot, but whatever it is, that's just kind of the first line of defense. If you have a child who is of talking age and is able to say, "Do I have to have a shot?" You want to be mindful about how long in advance you give that information. I wouldn't make it 2 weeks long. I
Totally.
would.
Absolutely. And keeping in that in mind, because yes, mine do the same thing. I think every kiddo associates the doctor with shots, that this is going to be a shot, right? So yes, and sometimes shots can feel painful. What does it feel like for you when you get a shot? When mommy or daddy gets a shot, it feels like a little sting. How does it feel for you? Also, talking about why we have to get shots.
Mhm.
I think even for our younger kiddos, sometimes they associate like shots with being bad or being sick. But a lot of times, shots are to protect our bodies and to keep our bodies really safe. Last year when you got that really bad cold and you weren't feeling really good for a lot of days, that the shot that you got helped it to where you were still able to go to your baseball game on Saturday. Sometimes the shot isn't going to completely get rid of an illness. Shouldn't I be okay? It protects your body from getting really sick. It makes you able to continue to do the things that you want to do. It allows you to go to school and to play with your friends because your body is safe from getting really, really sick. So I think that is an important conversation to have with any age group, even younger ones, that it's not a punishment. It's just part of the process of keeping your body in tip top shape. So then going back to that sting and then kind of coming up with a plan for day of getting through that, sting, and then kind of again, how are we going to recover? What are we going to do after?
You brought up two really important things. One is always chasing the why, and I always give that to Dr. Dan Siegel, who wrote the book, The Whole Brain Child and No Drama Discipline. Chase the why. Why do we have to have this? Saying it's not a punishment, saying that out loud is important, right? Because we know that sometimes kids will be ruminating or thinking about things, especially at that early school age, later preschool, that fear of punishment that they've done something wrong, maybe in their brain, even if they haven't said it out loud. So go ahead and say, "This is not a punishment. You did not do anything wrong to have the shot. This is just what happens." The second thing you did is you normalized their experience by saying, "You've actually already done this before. You've had a shot before and you got through it. And mom and dad have had a shot before. The doctor and the nurse we're going to see today, they've had shots before." I want to give parents a script. When they tell their child that they have to go to the doctor to get a flu shot and their kids say, "Is it going to hurt?" Parents, your response can say, "Yes, when I've had a shot before, it hurts for a few seconds. You can elaborate on that, what it felt like, and then it's over. I was able to get through it. And you have had a shot before too. What did it feel like to you? Is it going to hurt?" And you say yes. We want you to be honest, but we don't want you to not have a follow up. Say yes, and here's my experience, and here's what I saw in you last time it happened.
Yeah. And then how can we make it? What can we do together? Let's come up with a plan for that experience, for that actual poke. And then I think we have some great options that even if you're going get the shot at Walgreens or any sort of places, we have some pain management techniques we can use as parents to provide a little comfort. I think we should talk about some of the at home stuff you can do.
And now, a word from our wonderful sponsors who help make this podcast possible.